Welcome to Married Lifers. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome to Married Lifers. What's up? What's Big Greyhound? And a bad word from Couple Brothers.
What up? What up? What up?
It's been a minute.
We were on 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the fellas. I'm not talking about the girls.
No, the girls were just on Thursday. Don't worry on me.
When were you guys on?
Thursday, I was on with China.
What time do you guys go on? Because I don't get off work till 8 on Thursday.
We went on 6:30 your time. Because it was 7:30 my time.
6:30, yeah.
We were just
I'm
talking
still at
about
work at that time.
it's domestic violence awareness month. So we were talking about that. And he says rare because we got some hater bitches that pop up talking shit. Alexander said, "What's good? God bless and hope all is well for you and GH."
What's up? What's up? What's good?
What up, brother, man? That's a good kid right there, man. He tapped in on the channel, on my channel and shit. He's been watching me for a minute and yeah, man, turned his life around and shit watching. Started going to school, started taking classes, and he's headed to college soon. So I got to give him that little shout out, give him that little recognition.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you want to be doing good. You don't want to be up in here with me.
And you got to keep in mind it's hard,
but
it's worth it at the end. Like, you got to pick your hard. You want to be hard and struggling working these shitty jobs, or do you want to be hard for a few years to get through school? You know what I mean? It's worth it. The struggle's worth it, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're free at the end of the day. You're free.
Free.
So
are we ever really free?
So what's good, man? I am. I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm free.
But are you really? We have bills and all this other nonsense. So are you ever really free?
That's life. Yep. That's life. That's what makes life worthwhile is the struggles. You know what I mean? It's like in a relationship, married lifers.
It's good character.
So are we going to do a special on Wednesday or Thursday? Does he have Wednesday, Thursday off or just Wednesday? Because I think you told me Wednesday
off. I told him Wednesday
because why?
I told him Wednesday because you said you were going to get with Greyhound about doing it Wednesday, so I told him Wednesday. But yeah, he's off Wednesday and Thursday. He's.
I haven't sent it yet. I was thinking Thursday might work too if it's all of us because China's on at that time and we're all talking about relationships. But
the only thing about Thursday is I know when you're gonna send that.
I'll send it probably Friday. Thursday or Friday when I work both jobs. Oh yeah, I know. I work both jobs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm not gonna have any free time until Thursday to send it out. But I'll send it. I sent you a picture, babe. I made that cup.
Yeah, as far as me going on Thursday, yeah, I work till 8 o'clock, so it's not even possible because usually I'm seeing clients up until like right before basic. Sometimes at 8 o'clock they'll rush them out of the sessions. It depends on. I mean, there's a lot of variables with the job because it's man, I tell you,
Wednesday's
you just
fine.
never know one day from the next.
Wednesday's fine because he has drum circle on Thursdays too. You good with Wednesday,
Yeah,
babe?
me and Ty Tim, we're really gonna go work.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, it'd be nicer, have 10 on 2, but that's the only day I can do it. I mean, unless we did it earlier, but I doubt we'd be able to do that because I don't go to work till like 2 or 3, depending. And it's been to the point where like I'm really not knowing until it's like, what was it like last Thursday? My schedule changed from 2 to 3, 3 to noon, noon back to 3, 3 to 4. Then never mind. No, nobody. There's only one person here.
That's
So
crazy.
it can get that sketchy. I mean, when you're dealing with drug addicts, especially, or people with alcoholism, then it's really that sketchy as to who's going to be there because you just never know when somebody's going to fall off. I mean, that's the ups and downs of the job, but
That's very true. That's very true.
What did you want
it's
to talk
like,
about?
What?
Go ahead.
huh?
What?
Can you hear him better now, Daniel, or no? Or is it about the
can
same?
hear him.
Because I bought one of those speaker things for the phone. Watch.
I can hear him. Yeah, no, I can hear him better. It's crazy. I was going to text you like the other day and ask you about something like that.
Petunia had sent it to me on TikTok, but I got it off Amazon.
Send me. So you could hook the phone to it and it picks up the audio on it better.
Yeah, so he's now on a speaker, so that's why you could hear him louder than just on the phone.
What was that,
babe?
Yeah.
You beeping somebody?
Ah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Real quick. Hold on 1 second.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, it was.
Usually when you do the volume or you put the power on, it's like some chick talking. You know what I mean? Power up or power on or whatever.
Hey, you see that Arizona beat the 49ers?
Nah, you know what? And I got my TV on, and I got into my clean, and then I made me a pot of soap, but I never put the game on. I got the TV on. After I was done, because I thought we were gonna go live earlier. So when it was 3:15 and 4:15, I just laid up and started playing fucking Call of Duty on my other phone. While I was waiting for you to text or something.
I told you 5 o'clock your time because that's 6 o'clock our time.
I don't know. I probably didn't see it. Let's see.
Yeah, you do like I do. You kind of skim it and then just keep going. I get myself in trouble at work doing that shit with the emails.
I see. I'm going over the text right now. There's nothing on there that says that time.
Yes, there is, dude.
Good. I got all the text right here. I'm going through them right now to see that.
What, the time?
Yeah.
The schedule? I always do something, dog.
Whatever, babe.
See, look, are you gonna be able to go live tomorrow? I don't have anything planned, so I should be able to. Okay, I'll set it up tonight and send you the link.
Oh, well, I sent you the link. The link has the time on it. Get it together.
I see. Hold on, let me go. I'm gonna go check right here on my emails and see, because I don't.
Yeah.
That's
So when
what-
you click,
Over my head.
when
I
you
don't
click,
know nothing about the times and links and all that other shit.
when you check it, it says it on there. It'll say your time. It says my time.
No, not on the email.
Click on the link.
No time.
So when you click on the link, it
Yeah,
opens up.
I don't click on the links until it's time to go live.
My bad.
Yeah, I don't mess with those links until like either I'll be on here before you, you know what I mean? Just I'll have it on, I'll be backstage waiting. Or like right now, it's just kinda I was fucking busy and shit, so I just barely got a chance to go on there right now.
And I didn't even think of it. Usually I'll text you too, like a half an hour before, 15 minutes before, and be like, we're going on. But the notifications came up too saying Married Lifers be on in half an hour. So if you get the notifications, it tells you.
I just seen that like that's kind of how I figured we were gonna go live. That's why I just rushed to finish what I was doing and shit. That's why I was kind of occupied right now when you text me and shit. Because I had just got that. I just seen that. See, look, it says 12 minutes ago. Well, we've been live for 12 minutes, but that's basically when it popped up, like right before, like right before.
I thought I had sent you the time because we were going back and forth, and I'm like, I was talking to my husband because I didn't have to work tonight. So I was like, we don't have to rush to go on as soon as he comes off lockdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why, Kiki? This damn cat keeps jumping on me and clawing the shit out of me and then falling.
Because it's almost.
What do you got? A zoo over there or what?
I guess, dude, but it's funny because
Yes.
shut up. I guess it's because like she hasn't bugged me all day, and as soon as they see me coming here to get on live, both the cats are like up my ass, and it's like, dude, like go away. But he's talking shit because my daughter is moving back home, and she just got another cat. I have her cat, so this black cat, was originally my son's. So I've had her for a year, and then my daughter got a cat, and I've had her for like a year and a half, and then I got a dog. I got that American Bully. And she's moving back home. She just got a cat. She has 2 dogs. That's why he's talking shit.
So you gonna have all that over there too?
Yeah, so she has 2 dogs and a cat. I have 2 cats and a dog.
Them old cat women.
And I've never in my life, like these cats, I didn't pick them. You know what I mean? Like they're my kids' cats.
Them old cat women.
Fuck you.
You know,
Both
JD.
the cats that I have right now, I've never had a cat in my life. Both the cats I have right now are not mine. This one was my son's, and the gray and white one I have was my daughter's. I'm the one that got stuck with them because they went to apartments. My son has a baby in the house, and the cat was scratching the baby, so I took the cat. But I love them. I've just never been a cat person, dude. I've always had dogs.
My sister had cats when we were little. I don't remember. Probably like
Baby, your cat's acting like a fool.
maybe I was like 11, 12, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
This cat loves my husband, so I put him on speaker as soon as he calls me because I'm always doing shit. And as soon as she hears him, here she comes wherever the phone's at. She lays next to it. She tries to kiss it. She talks to him. He has conversations with her. I'm like,
let's see, we make her meow.
yeah, she loves him. Like, I'll be on the phone with anybody else. She doesn't care. But as soon as she hears his voice, like, she goes wherever I'm at. And then when we have our video visits too, here she comes to look at him. Like she's trying to kiss the phone and lick it and lick the screens and stuff. And I'm like, dude, what?
Hey, Greyhound, you hear me?
Baby, what happened?
Did he fall off his bunk?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What happened?
I don't know. This speaker sucks. It stopped working. So it took you back off of everything. So I just put you back on.
I heard that.
Yeah, you could hear me, but you on the regular phone. You weren't on speaker, I just said. So nobody could hear you. That speaker thing just stopped working all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Is it battery operated or you got it hooked up?
I got it hooked up into the
Laptop?
no, it's plugged into the extension cord.
Oh, it don't have one of the, what are these cords called?
Yeah, that's what it's on.
I have mine hooked up to my laptop. What are these cords called?
Charger cord, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's a charger cord, but yeah,
You're
they don't
such
have
a smart ass.
what you could hook it up to your computer or laptop. I forgot.
Yeah, I could do that. It's because I have the speaker hooked up like that too. You know what I mean?
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds better. Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
Yeah,
now.
you sound better.
You can hear me?
He can hear you. He said, yeah, you sound better.
I heard him. Hey.
2, 3.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Testing. 1. Hey.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, I had my son stay the night like a couple weeks ago and shit, and he wanted to hear the story of when me and Danny got shot that night. You remember that?
In your private parts?
Yeah.
In my private parts, yeah. Hey, that was some funny shit though.
Yeah. It was. Did you tell him?
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I told him. Cause see, he had heard it from Danny. Danny had told him, but her perspective of what happened that day is different than ours because we were together all that day, and there's more to the story than where Danny comes into play. Because you remember when Danny comes into play is after them dudes came through the first time and we shot them up and they took off. Remember?
The first time when they fucked up the first time.
Right, they try to come through and got lit up. Hey, but man, hey, remember how Greg got that? He got that text from it was from Tanya, but he got not text, page. He got that 911 page from his mom, and we all went over there strapped up. We were all tactical, gonna come through the door and shit. We thought them fools were over there.
Remember earlier in the day, me, you, and little Smurfy were walking through the Circle K, and remember them fools pulled up in the van, and they try to flash, but they didn't want to get out and knuckle up, and then there was a cop across the street.
Yeah, yeah. I told him the whole story, bro. There was hey man, I'll tell you something. When me and Greyhound were out here together, like. Until we fell asleep, it was just action packed. We were just nonstop on the go. We was always into something, dude.
And it was always going down too.
Hey, them fools are scared to scrap it up, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when they first pulled up, they had more than us, and they didn't want to get out I think it was Astro van. They didn't want to get out the Astro van, and they want to flash the little weapon and not even shoot it, and then take off, and they come back at night time, and they get served up.
They had that tech. They had that same Tech 9. Remember, they slid the door open. That fool had that Tech 9, but didn't want scrap.
Yeah.
Scary ass motherfuckers.
But the first time when they came out one time, they wanted to advertise and everything. I thought, wow, they fools screwed up. I'm going to give it to my homies. I wanted to my dead homies, and then bring out banners and some gang signs, and forget the whole time that they were going to shoot us up.
Them motherfuckers came back though. We lit them motherfuckers up that first time, and then them motherfuckers came back and got us. they caught us lacking that second time. What up, JD? What's good, brother, man?
JD's on, babe.
Yeah, I caught a hot one in the head.
In the wrong head. You're so fucking dumb.
Hey, it's funny too, cause like I just barely come into the doors of the ER, right? I'm on a gurney and shit, and I'm talking about like all the nurses, all the doctors, all the patients that were in the waiting room in the ER were coming in there and looking at my thing. And they got me sitting there with my thing out. You know what I mean? Like they're all looking like, you know what I mean? And then the doctor comes up. He's got his gloves on. He got one of them little metal tray thingies, and he just squeezes that motherfucker, and the bullet pops out, blah. And he just slaps the gauze on that motherfucker. He says, "Admit him." I says, "That's it. No stitches, no nothing." He said, "No, you're good. Admit him." I said, "Well, then I'm going home." He said, "No, it's a gunshot wound. You gotta stay." I started getting irate, so they put me in the room. And I was in there. So I just opened up the IV all the way so it dripped real quick. And I just went through all the cabinets and shit. I stuffed my pockets with gauze and tape and shit. And then when the IV was done, I pulled it out because it was in my hand. I pulled it out, and that motherfucker started bleeding a lot. So I sat there and I hold it. And like, something in my mind, I was telling myself, watch, as soon as I walk out the door, I was going to be right there. I know he's going to be right there. I opened the door. He's like down the hall right there in the ER. And he's like, "What up, fool?" We just smashed out, dog.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
You?
Yeah.
What happened to the girl? Did she get her vagina fucking sewn up? Like,
wow, she got hit in the leg.
Oh, I thought she got hit in the cooch.
Nah, she got hit. She got hit like right here in the inner thigh. She still got that she cut it out of those Levi's because they got too worn, but she still got that a piece of the those Levi's she had on where the bullet went. But it's crazy because it was a ricochet, so like it didn't go in. It just left a mark, like a big old bruise where it hit. Boom. It didn't even penetrate. Not her.
I said, this is how I told it. That the bullet hit the sidewalk, shot up, hit the lip, ricocheted, and hit Daniel in the dick.
You're so dumb.
Hey, cause like they were trying to mow us down. They were aiming low as fuck, dude, for reals. That shit was funny. Graham hopped in the ambulance with me and shit. We skirted out. At first, police are sitting there trying to saving Daniel's privates. I mean, saving Private Ryan.
You're so dumb.
Hey. It happened.
He was what? He was what, babe?
He was he was he was pitching for the 5 and 6.
You guys are so fucking dumb.
I was pissing out too. It was squirting. I was pissing. It was squirting out like that. No, I'm just playing.
You know when you put some weenies and they split down the middle.
Are you okay over there?
We had all kind of shit happen. Hey, I was thinking about right now. It just came to flash to my mind when we got in that car crash. I'll say where we were when we crashed, but that shit was funny. Graham said, "Fuck it, let's just leave the car." He left his car. Bro.
I got it right away.
Did you? Did you really?
I got T-bone.
You guys are so dumb.
Shit, we used to sleep. Hey, you see him pass out on that floor right there? We used to sleep on the floor together right there next to each other with guns in our hand and shit. Dead ass.
I'm gonna go talk
to
Danny. My package just got here.
Who?
My package just got here.
Hey, we were on fireman status, boy. Ready to go.
That's very true.
Fuck, bro. I miss you, dog.
Miss you, man. Been a long time.
I know, man. Fucking 25 years, bro. 25 long ass years. It's been a bitch, man. We both been through hell in these past 25 years. You know what I mean? But you know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have. You know what I mean? Be back together. Well, at least you know here, being able to communicate again and shit. You know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy. It's always think back when we were kids. Man, I wouldn't live to see my 18th birthday and shit.
Hey, bro, it's crazy you say that because I've been telling people that same shit. How everybody used to tell me that, man.
You guys were living fast.
I would think about that.
We were living fast, trying to die young. Like we were really trying.
Because to a certain degree, but you don't understand that the era and time that we were in prison, it was hectic back then.
Fuck yeah.
Right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's way different. Everything's different, bro. The streets, the prisons. It's a whole different world out here, bro. All of it, man. Inside out. It's just a completely different world, bro. Like, you would be in complete shock to get out, come out here, and see what it's like now. Like, yeah, it's a complete shock, man. Even for me, because like I was coming back from work the other day, and I was just kind of like paying attention to the skyline, and I was just like tripping out on like how many more buildings are going up. You know what I mean? Like, because I really don't pay attention. I take that route all the time to and from work, but coming back from the 17 to the 10, like I was really noticing, like, damn, man, there's that many more buildings now that are under construction. And then, like, everywhere you go, you'll see houses being built, apartments, condos, everywhere, bro. Different, like, yeah, okay, so on the corner of 36th Street and McDowell, how that used to all be a field from 36th Street to 40th Street. Now Now on 36th Street, it's apartments right to like the next block, and then that field that was there then it's now like office, like some kind of new I don't know Q something some technical place, but it's like three big ass buildings in that space from McDowell to the freeway. Like it's just there's no field there no more. I forgot what the business is, but like it's Q some or another, like Q some logistics or whatever. But yeah, there's like three big ass buildings right there that go from McDowell to the freeway to the 202. What up, Ben Cuevas, Benzon? What's cracking? ML family, GH, little pow pow, Naomi. Tap in, been MIA, working lots of hours. Man, you've been on vacation, bro. What you mean? I'll play. Yeah, we got Ben on right now.
Hey, what was that mall on the east side? It got torn down a long time ago. It was shut down a long time ago. It was Tower Plaza. It was on the east
Tower
side.
Plaza?
He said before.
Thomas Mall?
Yeah, Thomas Mall. That's what it was. Thomas Mall.
What about it?
Yeah, Thomas Mall was on Thomas and 44th. Yeah. It's just a strip mall now. It's just the same like where Tower Plaza is. Metro Center's closed too. Like, we don't have very many malls left here. I don't know if we have any in Phoenix. Arizona Mills is like one of the only ones I can think of at the top of my head. I think Arrowhead, I think that might still be open, the one on Power Road. But yeah, bro, malls are becoming obsolete these days.
Everybody's ordering online.
That's true.
That's exactly what I was gonna say right now. That's true, bro. Like, motherfuckers are even grocery shopping online, bro. That's crazy shit. Naomi, do you grocery shop online?
No, that drives me
Yeah,
crazy.
look,
My daughters do that. No, I don't. I'll go to the grocery store, but my daughters do that. They'll order their groceries and they bring them to their door and leave them there. And I'm like, can you be any lazier? What?
My wife is different. She pulls up at the store.
All right. Shut up. I forgot about that. He's talking shit because
she got
to the curb and pick it up.
so the only place I do that is at Target. So at Target, you could order it online and then go to the store and they bring it out to your car, is what he's talking about. So I do that.
Walmart
But my
too.
daughters,
why don't they just have it?
My daughters order groceries and have them delivered to the door. But I get it. They live on the third floor. They don't want to be walking up all those stairs with all kinds of groceries. So they pay somebody else to do it.
Bah.
I forgot I do that.
Baby girl's she's an electrician. Baby girl's an electrician. She be carrying weight around all that. She can't carry no. Come on, man. She be climbing up and down ladders.
So it's not really her. It's my mini me that does it.
It's the other one.
Yeah, it's the older one.
Okay.
So it's the one that.
Yeah, that's the one you took. That's the one you took a picture with.
Yeah, she looks exactly.
Yeah, she did. You guys look like you guys could be sisters, man, for reals. Like you guys look a lot alike.
When she was born, she stole my face. But that's my oldest daughter. So I have an older son, and then it would go my son, and then Gerard's son, then my oldest daughter, then our daughter. Like if you go by age.
I knew Ben would know where the malls are. What's up, John C? Amazon took the malls out of business. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I remember that aquarium. Wasn't that like a some kind of fucking that big old aquarium. What was it like? Wasn't there a store in there? I vaguely I remember Thomas Mall, but not all that much. That shit's been gone for a minute.
Babe, what was
Arrowhead
that
is in
mall?
Glendale. Oh yeah.
Babe, what was that mall I went to when I first went to see you in Arizona? Do you remember the mall? Because I stayed at the hotel across the street from there. I think it was like right off of I-10, I want to say. Metro, I think Tino said it was Metro.
What's the one on 83rd?
That's 17. That's the 17, not the 10.
Oh, the 17.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Dude,
that
that was back.
not there no more.
That was back in like 2003 is what I'm talking about. There was a big mall right there. Then when I went back in like 2017, that was gone.
Yeah, it's closed since I've been out. I believe it was open when I got out, but since I've been out, I believe it's closed. But oh yeah, Fashion Square in Scottsdale. I forget about that bougie ass place. I don't fuck around in Scottsdale.
That's where I took my kids when we went out there.
Super City.
Where?
They knocked down PV Mall too. What's the other one in Mesa? Man, I forget all these motherfuckers. Fiesta. I was around there not too long ago, maybe about a month ago. I was around there. Well, when I went to go visit my brother's gravesite, I had went by there because my brother's buried in Mesa. He's buried over there by my dad. Oh yeah, Desert Sky too. I forget about that one. Desert Sky, everything is in Spanish. Bro, I haven't been to Desert Sky since it was fucking
Desert Sky something else before that. Westridge? Was it
yeah.
Desert Sky?
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that's Westridge, right, Ben? Desert Sky. Yeah, they changed it to Desert Sky after the pavilion. Matthew Rosales, what's good? ML, much love. We respect to everyone.
Matthew's on, babe. He said, "What's good? Mary Lifers, much love and respect to everyone."
What's up, Matthew? Yeah, I think he was all
right. Yeah, Desert Sky was Westridge.
Thomas Mall is when it was old, even Maryville Mall. So they were dead now.
What got you guys talking about the damn malls? Who cares about the malls?
I don't know, because we're talking about change. Buildings and shit went up and stuff, and then
we're taking a cruise down memory lane, man.
Fuck the malls.
We're flashing back 25 years ago.
All the malls they got took down.
I know. Hey, do you guys have malls over there?
Of course we do. But they're just like everywhere else. So like, we have Colorado Mills Mall. We have Flatirons. They're not the same though. Like we had one that was called the Villa Italia Mall, and that got knocked down. That was like the main one when we were growing up. And that got knocked down a long time ago. They made it, Balmar something, and it's like outside stores. You know, they're making everything like the area, but it's all outside stores.
Strip malls.
Malls. Whatever.
It's the trip how culturally the cultural changes in this nation, right? Like malls are becoming obsolete, but when we were young, the malls were the place to be. Like even if you didn't have no money, going to the mall was the shit. Like just to go over there and meet people, fuck around. I mean, for us, we was still, you know what I mean? But like, you know, that was the spot. Like that was the social setting for us. We used to steal, man. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Bang, you did all them things.
You got caught cheating at the mall?
That was like the meat spot.
Oh, babe. Didn't you get caught cheating at the mall?
That was the meeting spot.
didn't get caught cheating at the mall.
Yeah, two bitches met each other and you were fucking with both of them. You got busted.
Yeah, I had two exes who met at the mall. They met I kind of think they met at Westridge.
And found
they
out.
met at the mall like that. One chick from the south side, the other chick from the west side, a puppy girl. Their two worlds would never meet in the world. All of a sudden, they're chilling in the mall, meet each other, talk about how you doing? How you doing? I'm on my business. Me too. I got a man in the joint. Me too. My man's name is Greyhound. Me too. And then get caught.
You shouldn't have been doing wrong when you want to talk shit about periods and whatnot. Like, get it together.
I'm just saying.
Get it the fuck together.
Ooh.
That was before the internet.
Ooh.
That was before the internet. But I learned my lesson. I stopped juggling after that.
Yeah, because you ever got caught juggling this way, you'll get beat. You don't got to worry about coming home.
Dang. Domestic violence. Let's talk about domestic violence now. We're going to turn this into domestic violence.
It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yeah, it's domestic violence month.
Yes, it is.
Or suicide prevention month.
No, it's Domestic Violence Awareness or Domestic Violence Month, and it's also Infant Loss Month.
Damn.
Yeah.
I lost my my niece. She is newborn. My sister Jessica's baby girl, Dahlia, she was a newborn when she died and shit. It's crazy you brought that up.
October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And Halloween.
And Halloween. Yeah. And mental
Let us not forget.
I mean, that's what me and China were
Mental health
talking
awareness.
about on Thursday was the domestic violence stuff. She was telling her story about, you know, what she went through with her first husband. So,
domestic violence?
yeah. It's because a lot of girls are posting about it and stuff and talking about it.
Why do you think?
It's a trip, man, how people can stay in abusive relationships.
Yeah, so you got to watch that because I asked it too. We got into a good conversation and then we had some trolls come on and say some weird shit.
Yay.
Dude, I hate it so bad. It like we were deep into a serious conversation. You know what I mean? No, babe, some dude got on there and was like something about, do you think... I'm going to slap the shit out of you, dude.
He said some dude got on there. And
He's probably a woman beater.
Yeah, no, but he was like, do you think it's because of all the incest that's why girls are so dramatic? And it's like, what? Block. You know what I mean?
That is some sick. Like, what's going on in that dude's world, dude? Like, what is going on in his world that? Yeah, like, damn, dude, incest. You like,
yeah.
You have to know something about that shit to bring it up,
right? It like threw us off because she's telling her story. She was in tears and stuff too, and then he gets on there saying that weird shit, and it's like, I can't stand people, dude. Like, if you don't like us, don't watch us. Fuck.
You should just block that shit immediately.
I did. But me, I read it because she's talking. So I was looking at the comments so I could delete if somebody asked questions or whatever. And I read that and I was like, oh my God, here we go. I don't think I addressed it. I think we just were deleting shit. Because a couple of the weirdos from TikTok too jumped on trying to say some weird shit. They just got immediately banned. Because I get it, we're gossiping and talking shit, but it was like she was seriously telling her story and she was in tears. And then for somebody to come on and start saying stupid shit, it was like, you know.
Why do you think you gotta stay in a relationship?
Yeah,
I don't know, babe. That's what we talked about. She felt like she didn't have no support to get out of it. And then I touched on my sister going through shit and and my mom, and I'm just like, I'm even being put in the middle of a lot of shit. Like I've never understood that. Like for me, it's like, at what point do your kids come first in those situations? You know what I mean? You're teaching your kids how to be treated and how to treat somebody. And not everybody's perfect, but I just can't.
I don't know about other states. I know here in Arizona they have crisis hotlines for all that. Like you can
They have it
easily
everywhere,
like get
but
out of all that.
That's the thing about it, though. I guess if you don't understand or you don't know what that person's going through, or you know what I mean, like they're scared to just be on their own and not have nothing. Like everybody's situation is different. It's just you can't understand it unless you're in it, I guess. Because I watched my mom go through it for years, and I would get mad and argue with her. Like I never understood it. You know what I mean?
It's hard for me to.
I don't know. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Understand it.
Because I'm froze. The screen is froze.
I could hear you though. Good. Mine was doing that when I was on kind of the first time it kept freezing like that. I don't know, babe. It was a good conversation to have with her though, because she kind of explained it from her point of view, and I kind of explained it to her from my point of view. You know what I mean? Going through it with my mom and shit, and you like to throw in my face that I put up with it once. I got hit twice, and I was done. But I didn't stay in it for years. You know what I mean? Like I got hit kind of back to back. It was over a 2-week span, and I was done with that. And that's the only person that ever put their hands on me.
Yeah, but it took you
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and what I'm saying is, and other people go for years. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's kind of hard to I guess empathize in some degree. At the same time, my parents they had a volatile relationship, so I understand from both sides, I guess. And but again, I don't understand because they chose to be in that situation. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a choice.
But
anyway, to see it in that aspect, you know what I mean?
I go back and forth with my feelings on it because I see what you know what I mean? I see what my family members go through. I watched my mom do that for years, and it's like you're scared to leave because you don't know what's going to happen, and you're scared to stay because you don't know what's going to happen either. You know what I mean? It's just it's fucking hard. Let's see what this person said. He said, many women stay in abusive relationships for a lot of reasons. They can really be complicated. Sometimes it's because they're scared of what might happen if they leave, or they feel stuck. And yeah, I get that too. And then the manipulation part too. So like for me, growing up, my dad used to fuck my mom up bad. And like, I mean, broken fingers and knocked out teeth and shit. And he would do that to her. And then the next day he's back at the house crying and saying he loves her and he would die without her. And he loves her so much and he loves us. And like the manipulation of it too, you know what I mean? And their head so fucked up from the back and forth so much that it's hard to get out. Did you ever see that with your parents? Like that kind of shit? Did you ever see that with your parents?
I didn't hear you.
Did you ever see that with your parents?
What's that?
Like the way I said, my dad would beat the fuck out of my mom. Then the next day he's there with roses and clothes and, you know what I mean? Like presents up the ass saying he's sorry and shit.
So like I was young when my dad got locked up, but I remember certain things. I didn't see like the craziness. Sometimes I see like the. I remember one time my mom put up the house on my dad, and hey, Daniel, you remember the projects? Remember the a couple to open them up. They're really high up.
Babe, we lost Daniel.
Oh,
He's trying to get back on.
They weren't drummers or shout or nothing, but it was like a compartment up there. But somehow my dad was up there hiding and stuff. You know what I mean? And I remember, you know, just hearing about certain stuff like the aftermath after my mom's nose got broke, and I back then I was just too young, so like it wasn't really nothing I really thought about. It was just more like numb to it. And then, you know, she could say her stuff and you know what was wrong or this and that. But then later on, when my dad was at home with us, I seen her behavior with him. I seen how she put her hands on him, hit him, and then he bust her back. You know what I mean? So like, I see like both sides of it. You know what I mean? I knew her in a different way. So like, it was weird growing up to, you know, I get sympathetic toward her, but at the same time, like seeing other parts of it, like where she initiated stuff, like she put her hands on him. I wasn't. It was hard to be empathetic and sympathize when she was just as violent. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, she stood a part of it. You know what I mean? Like this is something that been going on all our lives. So like if it was that much of a problem for you, you could have got out of it. You know what I mean? I understand the parts about supposedly being stuck or whatever, but shit, if he was kicking your ass before he went to prison, you had years of time to separate from him and get away from him, not wait for him to come home just to go back to it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like the manipulation part. Like you didn't see any of that.
What?
The manipulation part. Like saying I'm sorry and I love you on both ends if your mom was hitting him too.
Yeah. They were perfect for each other.
But that just goes to show you how we grew up, how fucked up it was growing up, because I never seen that in my grandparents, but now that we're older and we talk about it and we hear the stories that were going on back then, it's like they hid all that. They hid a lot of shit from us. But we seen a lot of shit too at the same time. So it's like, just like my grandma went through a lot with my grandpa, and I didn't know about any of that until, you know, probably a few years back when I started, you know, getting the stories from my mom about when my mom was involved in shit with my grandma and what my grandma was doing. Because my grandma's the sweetest lady if you ever met her. Like you would never think she did half the shit she did, but I guess the crazy in our family comes from somewhere.
Yeah, like my grandparents, their life wasn't like that, nothing like that.
You have 1 minute.
That you know of. Because I'm telling you, we didn't know that either. Like my grandma was always at the kitchen table making dinner for my grandpa. Always, they were always together. And then you find out all these stories behind the scene, like what? Like the two don't match up. You know what I mean? From what we seen growing up to what I know now. Like, but our parents knew about all of that. We just didn't know about it. And I don't know what cousins know what I know now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, either set of grandparents went through any of that. I've never known about it. I never heard about it. But from my own parents, I know about it because I seen it in when I was younger, and then I seen it a little bit later. So you know what I mean? Like I'm more like indifferent to it. Just like I don't know.
Thank you for using Securus.
I'll read that, John, when my husband comes back on. So we'll have to, I just was reaching out to China again too. So she's going to try to jump on with us just because like you know what I mean? That's what we were talking about. That's what we want to talk about this month was it's a big subject to talk about. And a lot of girls go through it and hide it and can't talk about it.
Yeah, I remember it's a trip because I remember the homegirl's mom, she was fighting with her boyfriend, right? And he was a fight side and he was stomping her out with some shit kickers, dude. Like he was putting boots to her face and everything, you know what I mean? And we were headed to the Circle K, and she lived like right next door to the home in Chico. And it was a gang of us that were mobbing to the Circle K on 20th Street in Van Buren. And fucking we seen it, and I just clocked that fool, knocked him out, and we started stomping that fool out. And man, cause she was screaming, help, 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 with fucking, you know what I mean? We rushed this shit. And then next thing you know, we start stomping this fool out. She calls the cops on us.
So John said, my sister was in an abusive relationship. Her boyfriend moved her from AZ to Texas. Then not too long after, my other sister told her he's going to kill you. One day, next, he shot her in the face in front of the kids. Like you see too many of these stories. I've been watching Married to Evil. I don't know if anybody's seen that show, but it's like, it's not just guys either. And that's what we talked about Thursdays. Like, it's not just the guys that are abusing the women. Some women fucking abuse dudes. You know what I mean? And you'd be surprised to find out that it's even harder for the men to come out and talk about it because they're looked at like you should be able to defend yourself. You should be able to beat her up, but they don't want to put their hands on anybody. So they just take it. You know what I mean? And that's fucked up too. Like neither one of those scenarios is okay. And you should be able to talk about it.
Yeah, there's a greater stigma for men, but I know like out here now that the laws, whoever's the first one to throw a punch is the one that's going to jail.
Shit, if you both hit, you both go.
Not here.
So, here it is because my mom got into it with my stepdad, and she had hit him, and he had scratches, and he had hit her, and they took both of their asses. They both went.
I'd rather just leave, man. Honestly, like I mean, my son's mom used to get all fucking. She used to throw shit, hit me with shit, and all that other shit. I mean, that's domestic violence, but like, I said, I'll just leave, and that's what happened the day I caught that armed robbery case. We got a big ass fight, and she fucking scratched me and hit me, and you know what I mean, busted. I forgot what she hit me with, and I had to wrestle her down and hold her down. You know what I mean, long enough I'm gonna leave, man, and fucking. That's when I end up leaving. I let her up. I end up leaving this shit, and I knew I was like, man, it's crazy because I walk right there by the county hospital. There's an alley that runs next to the Potter's Field that's right there, and I was sitting in that alley. Like the hospital's here, the Potter's Field's next to it, and then if you go up that alley, next to that, going south was the state hospital, and then next to that was Alhambra Prison. And I'm sitting there on a telephone pole that was laid out in the alley. And I'm sitting on there and I'm crying, man. I'm praying and everything and shit. And I was looking ahead of me and I knew I was like, either I'm going to end up dead, I'm going to end up losing my mind, or I'm going to end up back in prison today. And that's when I caught that armed robbery case. Like hour or so, 2 hours later, I ended up catching that armed robbery case. I did that 12 years. I mean, that was the thing for me. Like in that moment, that day, I knew that relationship was done because it couldn't continue at that rate. Like I couldn't put up with that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one to put my hands on her. You know what I mean? I was raised by my mom and I got a younger sister, so I've always been overprotective like that. But yeah, it's all bad.
That kind of shit is always all bad.
Yeah, I mean, especially when there's kids involved. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, he did that shit in front of the kids, man. Like,
well, you see all these stories. Do you see the one about the girl? I think she's like 32 in Texas. She's been dating this guy for like 9 months, and he killed her in front of her kids. she had kids, I think ranging from 3 to 14 or something like this, 5 of them. And they watched their mom die. And somebody came, I can't remember who they said showed up, but she had a knife in her neck. Like he had cut her neck and all kinds of shit. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are these people on?
At some point, you just have to know when to let go, man. You have to know when to move on. I mean, that's like the hardest thing because, love or whatever you want to call it keeps people there. You know what I mean? We say it's love, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, love ain't strong enough to withstand that type of abuse. You know what I mean?
And a lot of it is fucking with narcissistic people and the like love bombing and shit. You know what I mean? The confusion because you're sitting there thinking you love somebody and they're telling you 1 minute, hitting you and shit, and the next minute they're telling you they love you and they'll kill themselves without you and that. So it's the manipulation for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Huh?
A lot of like jealousy and possession. You know what I mean? Like that was a lot of what I dealt with, and that shit was fucking crazy type of jealousy and possession.
Same for the guys sometimes too. I think like they get threatened, like if you leave, you'll never see your kids again, and blah blah blah. China's on with us, babe. Hey, China. I said China jumped on with us.
Hi. Okay, I'm back.
What's up with your hair? Is it green?
I don't know. I went through some stuff on Saturday. I don't know if you guys can tell my face is like so burnt. So I've been having to put like my mom said to do some aloe vera or something like that and just so
That's why you're all shiny.
yeah.
Petunia's on with us too, babe.
What's up, Dion?
Ben Cuevas, remember Joe used to hit Vera when we were a little kid. When you were a little kid, yeah. I mean, I seen Joe abuse his baby's mom. I mean, man, I don't even want to talk about that one. There's the day my tia Rita died too. We were at the hospital at St. Joe's when she was pregnant at the time too. She was pregnant with my nephew Bugs, and yeah, I had to strap on him. I mean, it's one of the fucked up situations where she hit him. You know what I mean? We're in the car and she hit him. You know what I mean? She rib shotted him right fucking fifth rib. That shit, you can tell that shit hurt by the way, just the way he winced and shit. And my brother's got some snap ass reactions. That motherfucker can fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, remember?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, we were at St. Joe's. I was in the parking lot. I remember we were getting out.
Yeah, that's right. You were with us.
Yeah.
I forgot you were with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
I told you, I was like, let's just go, be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it happened so fast, and the way it happened, and I was just like, what?
that shit was crazy, huh? Like, fuck. That shit just happened so fast, too, man. Like, fuck, dude. But yeah, I mean, you can love somebody from a distance, man. You don't have to suffer.
that's what I think for a lot of people, it's the manipulation. That's
Yeah,
why that's what a lot of people can't understand. It's like when I watched that with my mom and my dad, like he was love bombing her. You know what I mean? Like broke her pinky, and then the next day she's there all bruised and bloody, and he's there with presents, telling her how much he loves her and he couldn't live without her. So she was stuck in that shit. And I mean, he went to the extremes to where my brother was 6 months old, and out here in the projects, like they're all cement stairs, right? My mom's at the top of the stairs. My dad's threatening her. He chucks her down the stairs with my brother in her arms. Like he could have killed both of them. And
a
then
lot of it too is women have codependency.
I mean, like honestly, like you should expect that in a relationship of codependency. That could be a healthy thing. You know what I mean? It should be a healthy thing. Like you should have a codependency with the person you're in a relationship with that you love, especially if you're living with them.
Yeah.
But you know, when that codependency becomes manipulative, like she's saying, like, because it was the same shit that I went through where, like, you know, you're not gonna see the kids type shit, and you know, I end up prison not seeing the kids anyway. So it's like I was damned if I do and damned if I don't. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing is that the kids having the experience. I think Greyhound was talking about that earlier. Like, you know, some point you just get numb to it as a child growing up watching that shit. It just becomes normal. Like, it's crazy how these things become normal in people's lives. It's acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start getting out in the world and seeing that that's not the way families are supposed to interact and be with each other. You know what I mean? I watched my dad. My dad used to beat the shit out of everybody. He had my uncle on his knees and booting him in his face in front of us at a kid's birthday party. Like that type of shit was normal to us. And then you get out and you hear these other stories where, you know, you get married to other people or you see other things and they grow up in a happy home where everybody celebrates and they're together. And you're like, just waiting to start fighting and shit or seeing some shit pop off. That shit's not normal.
Yeah.
But we end up thinking that because that's what we grow up seeing.
Yeah. I'm glad I was able to like you know, break that cycle. You know, I'm glad that I was able to break it. I feel like it was a little bit too late, but not too late to, you know, my oldest, she's 15. My middle child, she's 12. My son is 10. And it was late, but I know that they still have a long life ahead of them and they know what not to allow and they know what to expect. And they, you know, like I tell my kids all the time, you know, I'm sorry that I didn't walk away sooner. But even my oldest daughter, she, you know, she says like, don't blame yourself. You know, you didn't know any better and you do now. So now, like, we know and we understand why you stayed. We understand why you continue to forgive him, but don't blame yourself. Like now, you know, we know what not to allow.
It's important to talk to them too and let them have their feelings and express it so that they don't bottle that shit up and carry it on to their relationships. What were you going to say, babe?
For me, like, I don't like to fight because I come from a volatile family, and I learned from the best of being ugly in that situation. So I don't ever want to be my parents in that way. You know what I mean? So I try to avoid fighting altogether. You know what I mean?
I get that.
An argument and fighting and stuff like that, it's communication. It's trying to work out whatever the problem is. But there's certain things that I try to avoid because I don't want to get to that point. I don't ever want to be that. I've never been in that position where I've done something, but I don't ever want to be pushed in a position to where I do something. So I try to avoid them things because even words are toxic. You know what I mean? So if I say something toxic, this is where I tell you where I twist it and it breaks and then touch me. You know what I mean? So I try to avoid ever trying to go there. You know what I mean? I try to avoid a fight as much as possible.
But the downside with that is that
with each other.
I understand you in that point, but the downside with that between you and I is that you don't like to address nothing because of that. And that's a problem for me because when I try, I mean, we've gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, but we have our problems, you know what I mean, still. And it's like the thing that frustrates me with you with that is that you won't address anything because you don't want to go there. And that's not healthy either. Like when I get upset, I need to be able to express that to you without it turning into this big ass fight that we have for 2 days because you don't want to fight, but you don't want to listen. You want to be a brick instead of that sponge that we talked about. So that's still unhealthy too. John said women may return to abusive relationships due to the factors like trauma bonding, where cycles of abuse followed by affection create a powerful emotional attachment.
Makeup sex is the best sex, they say.
Not like that, dude. Don't fucking.
I feel like there's a lot of the times, and I agree with it because, like I said, I was there for 15 years. I was there for 15 years, so it's really hard. And like I was saying last Thursday, once a woman like mentally checks out, then it's easier for us to walk away, you know. But it's like I said, I've always said it's easier said than done. But the trauma bond is something that has a very strong hold on relationships.
I don't know. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was saying that for me, it's kind of hard to sympathize and empathize sometimes because, like I was saying, with my own parents, I grew up with my dad fucking my mom up and hearing stories and stuff. You know what I mean? Like when my dad went to prison, I was a little kid. You know what I mean? And I know that my mom's nose got broke. I know that she had her knee. She had to get stitches on her knee because he threw an ashtray at her or something. I remember her calling the cops on them and stuff like that. And I know those type of things, and I witnessed some things that, that were wrong. But later on, when he comes back home, witness. So I grew up with my mom used to beat my ass. You know what I mean? She broke my nose before I even started the 4th grade. So I understand about getting ass whooping. That's just how our family is, I guess. You know what I mean? But then I witnessed her getting a fight with my dad. I seen her punch him in the face. He didn't hit her. He didn't initiate it. I seen her spit on him. I seen her hit him with the keys. You know what I mean? These are weapons. These things fuck you up too. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like indifferent to it because parts of me as a kid going through what I did with my mom, I kind of felt like she deserved that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I felt like they both deserved each other because they were both that way with each other, so they deserved each other. You know what I mean? But at the same time, she chose to be in that relationship because my dad went to prison for 10 years. You know what I mean? And he broke your nose, he busted you up, he did whatever he did to you 10 years before. And you waited 10 years for him to come back home to fuck you up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy to hear everybody else is different.
Just leave, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I understand completely because, like I said, my daughter, she's 15 already, and I want to say when she was like 13 and a half, 12 and a half, 13, she did like tell me like, why are you still there? And so I understand where he's coming from, because it's like if he did all this and then he gets locked up, comes out, and you're still there, like you're choosing to be there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I keep going. I don't know if I keep going out on my internet, but I just like on my end, I grew up in a household where no matter what, you fix your marriage. No matter what, you have to find a solution to your marriage. You can't divorce him. You can't leave him. So I grew up in that type of environment, in that home, where, like I said, I didn't see my stepdad hurt my mom, but I guess when I was like a year or so, my real dad would beat my mom. And then I ended up, in the same situation that my mom did with my real dad and not my stepdad. So, like I want to say to me, it was more because of like, I wanted the family. I wanted my kids to, like my stepdad, like might have not, hurt my mom or nothing like that, but he was very hard on us. So there was times where he would hit me or whatever. My mom never defended me. So I feel like I never wanted to give my kids that, of a stepdad, and then he like over like overdoes it with his authority, I guess. So in my mind, that's why I was like, I have to stick it through. I have to, and then once I got tired. And once I was like, enough is enough. I'm hurting my kids more by sticking here. I'm hurting my kids more by forgiving and allowing him to continue to hurt me physically, emotionally, mentally. I got up and left, so it's like, it's hard, it's hard. It's a really hard situation.
I think a lot of girls stay saying that they want their kids to have a mom and a dad, but it's like at the end of the day, that's what I was telling you Thursday. Like at the end of the day, when did the kids become the priority? Because yeah, you want to give them a dad, but what kind of dad do you want to give them? It's the quality of it. You know what I mean? If he's fucking you up and teaching them this shit, like why stay in that? Like, when I talk to my sister, I'm like, your kids have, this was always your excuse. You want to stay because you wanted to keep your family together. You wanted your kids to have their dad. My two oldest kids' dad walked away when my daughter was 7 months, right? Her kids aren't no better than my kids are. Yeah. My kids didn't have to see all the shit that her kids have to see, though. You know what I mean? My kids didn't have to grow up being scared and I got upset because her daughter came and told me one day, she's like, I had to throw my body on my mom. So she was physically in between it. And I started crying because I told my sister, like, how could you do that to her? You know what I mean? I know how that feels because I used to do that. I used to throw myself on my mom to protect my mom and I would get hit. You know what I mean? At 14 years old doing this shit. Like, I know what that did to me. Like, why are you doing that to your daughter? All because you want her to have her dad there? Obviously, I want to fucking be there and be healthy for her. You know what I mean? Make it make sense, please. Like, yeah. It's just, I guess you got to know the full story of everybody's stuff, but you know what I mean? It's crazy to hear the little things everybody's went through and seen it. And it's sad that all of us have a fucking story about domestic violence shit and seeing it, like growing up with the shit.
I think it's a lot more common than people realize. I mean, I think there's still a lot of people who don't talk about it. You know what I mean? I know for myself, like what kept me in that abusive relationship was, I always said that I would never be like my dad, that I would always be there for my kids. You know what I mean? So, that was part of what always kept me there because I didn't want to give up. You know what I mean? I didn't want to walk out. I didn't want to leave my son like that. So that was part of what kept me there. You know what I mean? And then I ended up doing it anyway because I ended up in prison. I ended up, throwing my life away just to get out of that relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it varies from household to household. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's drugs, sometimes it's alcohol. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just the nature of the person. Like I know, like with my brother Joe, and he would always talk about, because I was 2 when my parents split up, so I don't remember the relationship. You know what I mean? But he would always say, and then my brother Rudolph too was like, how abusive my mom was to my dad. Like my mom almost shot him one time. My mom used to fuck him up. Like my mom could fight. Like my mom grew up fighting number boys and men. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like whenever there were, that's how she dealt with it. You know what I mean? The same way her dad dealt with it. Because her dad was, but not to her, because she's the oldest girl. So she was a daddy's girl. Her dad never did nothing wrong. But, I've heard from, my other uncles about how bad my tata was, you know what I mean, and how abusive he was as a drunk. He was a World War II veteran too, but there's no excuse for all that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's sad because there's so many of these stories, and they're so like back in the day, I think when we were growing up, like nobody talked about it. Everybody knew what was going on, but nobody talks about it. Nobody says nothing. So they're scared to leave. People are scared to leave. And now that people are actually talking about it, I'm not saying it makes it easier, but I think it helps.
I mean, like,
See that other people.
like it's like what Greyhound said, like, we used to get our asses whooped, you know what I mean? And like it was a normal thing because it just you just accept it because that's the consequence of whatever it is you do wrong. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's you do some serious shit or whatever, but sometimes, like with my mom, she just be in a bad fucking mood. You know what I mean? And don't say nothing or do nothing wrong or you're gonna get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
And she get to swinging for your head with that belt. You know what I mean? I laugh, but I mean, because I've just got numb to it. Like you just, I hit an age where like you ain't gonna do that to me.
Yep, and that's crazy because I grew up like that too, with the extreme hitting and fucking us up for the dumbest reasons. You know what I mean? And I never like my mom will get mad at me now when my kids get disrespectful. And she's like, you should have hit them. And I'm like, why? Like, what did that change? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that did was fuck me up. Like, I'm not gonna do that to my kids.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing with my kids. Like I said, I have my 3 kids, and not and not once have I ever laid hands on them. I've never hit them. I got used to get hit with the cord, the gancho, whatever was close to you. You
That shit
know,
hurt.
yeah, like, and so I always said, like, what is it going to do? And it was just more of like me getting more rebellious and more rebellious. And so it didn't fix nothing. And so with my kids, and I always said, when I have kids, I am not going to put my hands on them, and so I've talked to my kids, I've got to their level, and I've had conversations with them to where I can say I've never had to lay hands on my kids for them to understand or for me to get my point across. So violence with growing up, I mean, times have changed completely, and so now like back then it was like if I wanted spaghetti, my brother wanted chicken Alfredo, and then my other sister wanted pizza. My mom was like, no, this is what I made, this is what you guys eat. But now it's like, now the grandkids, one wants spaghetti, the other one Alfredo, the other one hamburgers. She does all 3, all 4 at that, so it's like times have completely changed, but I feel like
you say that because we never had a choice. Like what was dinner was dinner. They never asked us, what do you feel like eating? No, it's dinner time. This is what's on your plate. We never had a choice, you know what I mean? Or said, oh, I'm feeling like pizza. That wasn't a thing when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like, was there, you know what I mean? And it's like that now because I raised my kids like that. My mom got mad because I'd be going to 5 different fast food places because everybody wants something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom's not like that. Like she's never been like that type of person. That was me doing that shit with my kids.
I pray for the opportunity to do it again, man, to have another child, get married, do it right anyway. You know what I mean? Like I've learned a lot from all of these experiences, and I like I said, I pray for the day that I can have another child, and I mean, truly give that child what a child deserves in life: both parents, loving parents, caring parents,
and it will, yeah, and I believe it will happen. I believe it will happen, and like I said with my kids, like my husband, that's my kids' stepdad, and even though he's behind those walls, even though he's locked up,
whoa, we lost her. I think it was her internet.
Probably.
But yeah, we'll wait till she comes back on. But I get what she's saying because my husband was like that. Like when we had our daughter, he said from the beginning, like he didn't want me disciplining her like that. Right, babe?
Yeah, I'm not. That's my thing. It's I grew up getting fucked up, and I don't believe that that's the way to raise my kids. You know what I mean? Like me getting beat didn't stop me from coming to prison. has stopped me from getting infertile. You know what I mean? Matter of fact,
Sorry.
do it even more. You know what I mean? So I don't see it with my kids. I don't see the same approach. You know what I mean? I believe in. Don't get me wrong. We have to teach them right and wrong, and there has to be discipline. But I don't believe that it has to be corporal like that. I don't believe it has to be physical. You know what I mean? I believe in reward as well. Because growing up, I never got rewarded for nothing. You know what I mean? I just got disciplined when I was bad, or even when I wasn't bad. I just got fucked up. So, and I don't see that it helped me. It didn't help me at all. You know what I mean? It just, for me, I feel like it made me worse, maybe more rebellious against it. And I don't believe that that's what's needed to raise our kids. I think they need to be more nurtured. And I'm proud of how our daughter is. You know what I mean? My daughter's a damn electrician. You know what I mean? She's not no criminal. She ain't no gang member. She ain't no dope fiend. You know what I mean?
She's
so,
mean.
I'm happy with our approach. You know what I mean? And to each his own. You know what I mean? People, run their families the way they do. But for me, I didn't believe in spanking a child because I grew up getting spanked, and I don't believe that was the approach that was needed. You know what I mean?
And our daughter is not perfect by any means, but she's a good kid.
Yeah.
That has a lot to do with it because when she did it was rare for her dad to get in her ass, but he would when she did things wrong. But she is a good kid for, becoming an electrician at 19 years old. Like,
Yeah.
18, huh, babe? She started her journey at 18 because it's going to be 2 years in December. But it made a difference. Like, you could see the difference. People talk shit and they're like, oh, well, her dad's been in prison her whole life. But my daughter's a good kid. My daughter, he taught her everything he could. He was always there for her. He's still there for her. Like, she's a good kid. She didn't have issues.
Yeah, I think the common misconception is what discipline is. You know what I mean? Like, we were meeting with my little brother's counselor. The whole family was, and like I was explaining to the counselor, me and my sister, how like with my mom and her generation, discipline was whipping your kid's ass. That was discipline.
Yeah.
They don't understand that discipline is training a child. You know what I mean? Continually to stay on them to do what is right. You don't need to beat them, you know what I mean, with a belt into submission to get them to do something. You train them by just continuing over and doing it again and again and again, like the military. The military form of discipline is different because you're not beat. You may get yelled at or whatever, but you're conditioned in a certain way to do things the right way and to stay on that straight and narrow. You know what I mean? And with that generation, they just believe in just beating the shit out of your kid, man.
Yeah.
Well, Ben said, then you have me. I never laid a hand on a woman/girl. I learned from my mom. She used to say, if you need to hit her, then you don't need to be with her. I can still hear her voice. LOL. That's true both ways. Like, if you need to hit them, you shouldn't be with them.
Yeah. That's one thing that I always, like tell my son. My son's 10, and he tried to defend me. I want to say maybe like 4 times. This last time was in August 21st when I was telling Naomi what had happened. My face was leaking, and my son was going to get a knife, and my son's 10. He was 8. No, he was 7. My son was 7, going to the kitchen to try to get a knife to get him off of me. And that at that time we weren't even together. We were, he found out where we lived. He found out where we lived, and he broke the door in, kicked the door in. It was just like it happened too fast, you know. But there was another time where I was sleeping. And then out of nowhere, I just got woken up to like punches in the head. I woke up like, what the hell's going on? My son came in with his Nerf gun trying to hit him. And, you know, there was like, and I tell my son, I don't care what it is. I don't care if a girl gets in your face, you remove yourself and you don't lay hands on her at all. I don't care what it is. I said, if it's that deep, you got sisters that will handle that for you. I said, but you're not going to touch or ever put a hand on a female. And he's always been like that. He's been, you know, very respectful towards that. Like he's very sensitive to that subject, to where it's, that's cute, to where it's, you know, when it comes down to women, you know. And one thing it was funny because they were talking about, Mom, what if I start dating a girl and you don't like her? And I said, well, if she makes you happy, then she makes you happy, like, you know. And he's like, yeah, but if you don't like her, then I'm not going to be with her. And so he's a big mama's boy, you know. My son is a big mama's boy, but I just who was it, Ben? How he said, you know, if you need to hit her, you don't have to be with her. You know, that's something that I'm gonna tell my son now. That's something that I'm gonna tell my son now.
That's real shit. I mean, you don't, like, it's done at that point. If it's gotten to such extremes of, you know what I mean, mental abuse that, you know, you feel you got to put your hands on, it's time to walk away. That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's a double-edged sword. That goes both ways. You know what I mean? It's like, it's done. But I was thinking about something like, you know, also people don't want to fail at anything. You know what I mean? Our own pride makes us not want to fail. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to relationships, we can feel like a failure walking out, you know what I mean, or leaving or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that binds people in those relationships. But when it comes to abuse, it you know, even when it's mental abuse, when it gets that bad where it's like just nerve wracking and, you know what I mean, and people are yelling and shit like that, it's like, I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just give you your space. You know what I mean? I'd rather just walk away, give you your space. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, give space, walk away.
So
Give us some time.
this would be good to talk about when we do Wednesday with Tiny and his wife to see how they handle it.
yeah,
Because
they go through it too.
yeah, he's coming straight out of prison, and so like I always tell my husband, like, you know, when I need space, give me space, but don't give me too much because then I freak out. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I have a whole house, dude. You come home, you make yourself a man cave, and when we're having issues, just go downstairs. Or he always tells me I'll go outside to the hammock and pass out. And I got to learn how to curb my my anger issues too, because I told you that day, like sometimes I don't know when to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my feelings, like I'll keep going and going and going. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
not fair.
You just got to pick and choose your battles, man. Like, you know, what's an argument worth having? You got to ask yourself, am I being petty? You know what I mean? Like, is this really that serious that I got to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, seriously,
So
we have
the-
to think of ourselves because, like, you know, I mean,
and I
if it's
told him
something
that when he does come home, dude, like we would both have to take therapy classes because he, you know, not therapy classes, but therapy because he's been in there so long and he did so much time in the box. Like he would need that. And then he's like, you need it too because you have anger issues. And like China said one time, like, you know, all the shit she's been through, that's why she's quick to want to fight and quick to get mad and stuff. And I thought about it when you said that. And I'm like, I think that's my problem too. Like all the shit that I've been through, like that's why I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a conversation with you. Let's just meet up and handle our business and then go about our way. You know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with the way what I've seen and shit.
I feel like to this day, I struggle a lot with being on defensive mode. Um, even though it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's like even though like some it could be my husband, my kids, my mom, friends or anything, like I feel like when I feel like I'm getting attacked, I just get on defensive mode, and then it's like I start like building my wall, and that's something that it's like I'm struggling with really really bad. um and it comes down to, you know, my PTSD, my anxiety, my trauma, that it's like I'm battling with it because I've never went to counseling, I've never done therapy, I've never opened up. um Not everybody knows like of what I've been through in regards to my domestic case. I've never, just last Thursday I you know opened up and I said, you know, what had happened and stuff. So um you know, just bits and pieces of like what I've been through and stuff. But I feel like that's like my how do I say it? Like I just be on defense mode. Like I just come, you know, ready to like just back myself up, because for so many long years I didn't have anything. I didn't have nobody backing me up. I felt like I had to fight these battles alone all the times, that now I'm struggling with
It's like
wanting to
survival mode. You go into
yeah,
survival mode.
yeah, and yeah, that's what it was, you know, me being on survival mode, being on defensive mode all the time, and you know, always having to just practically defend myself from everyone and everything, you know. So I'm trying to work on that. But I'm struggling.
So my wife understands
What?
survival mode. So you told her, you said survival mode. So I said, so you understand.
I understand what, that I'm like that too? Or you?
No? Me.
I understand you, babe. My thing with you is that you don't like to face things. You just like to push them to the side because you don't want to get like that, and that's not healthy
You know
either.
what? That's how my husband is too. Like when it comes down to like a disagreement or something, he just kind of wants to just shove it under the rug, and then we'll talk tomorrow like nothing ever happened. And I'm like, we're supposed to. I don't know. I'm with like find a solution, find an agreement, like something to fix whatever disagreement was, whatever you know, miscommunication we had or whatever, you know. And it's I don't know if if it's a man thing, that them being incarcerated is just kind of like just push it to the side and give it a
I
couple
think
days.
it's a little bit of both. Because my husband, like when we get into it, or when I get mad and I keep pushing at him, and then he flips the fuck out, I'm not one to just sit there and let him act a fool with me. Like I'll go off too, and then it gets evil for both of us for a few days, and then when we sit down, we'll sit down and talk. And I'm like, why do you always have to go on defensive mode? Like whenever, you know, I could tell him like, I was crying, like I was in my emotions, and he'll be like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm feeling insecure right now. I'm feeling sad and hurt, and like, and he's like, why? Nothing happened. And then like we'll get into it, right? And then he'll be like, I don't do nothing wrong. I fucking call you all day long. And you know what I mean? So he starts getting defensive, and then we both like blackout. If not, I don't want to say blackout, but we both get to where it's like we're poking at each other.
Yeah.
Like, he says fucked up shit, and then I'll say fucked up shit, and like I'm like, why are you throwing shots at me? Then like 2 days later, he wants to sit down, like I wanted him to begin with, and talk about what's going on. Then we'll sit down, and you know, and I realized the last time I was like, I do the same thing you do. Like when he says he sticks the knife in and keeps, even though he knows it's hurting me and it's hurting him, he keeps doing it. And I did the same thing. Like I was being, you know, accusing him and yelling at him instead of just telling him, hey, I'm feeling this type of way.
Yeah.
So I think like even that type of shit is like toxic in a sense. But I tell him, like, I always try to have consideration for you. I always think, you know, he's been in prison all these years. He's been in the box all these years. But I'm like, when do you have consideration for me or try to put yourself in my shoes?
Yeah.
And then when I'm going to defense, right? You get upset and be like, you don't have to defend yourself against me. I'm your wife, this and that. But when I'm in survival mode, I'm always in survival mode. It's hard to get out of survival mode. It's just you're so used to throwing up your hands to defend yourself. It's just instinct. It doesn't matter who it's against, whether it's somebody in here, out there, your loved one. You're in defensive survival mode.
Yeah.
I get that too, but at one point you stop using that as an excuse and you try to find resolution instead of us having to go through nonsense for 2 days and then.
Let me ask you this. So if you're feeling insecure, right, and you're in your feelings and you bring this to him, but you can't explain it, right? And he's giving you security and saying, "I'm here."
And he don't do that. He don't do that. He gets upset.
Like, what more do you expect from the conversation?
I've told him exactly what to say to me. Like, all I need, and I told him, like, all I need you to do is just, be like, it's okay. Like, you don't need to solve everything. I know you're feeling some type of way. I love you. Like, how hard is that?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like,
He doesn't do that. He gets defensive and he's like, I didn't fucking do anything. I called you 50 million times. You're fucking tripping for no reason. Like, that's what he does. Instead of, and I've told him 5 million times, like, when I'm feeling like that, sometimes I don't like to open up and be like, I'm feeling crazy right now. Like, I'm feeling fucked up and you know what I mean? Who wants to be open and say shit like that? But when I do tell him that, I don't want it to turn into, well, I didn't fucking do anything. What's wrong with you? And you know what I mean? Like, it gets ugly like that. And then then like 2 days later, he's like, I sat back and I thought about what you said. And then he gets soft. And then he's like, this and that. We talk about it. And I'm like, why does it take us going through crazy to get to where I wanted you to be in the first place? Please make it sense.
Because I'm a back first.
Whatever.
My first question would be, what are you feeling insecure about?
I don't know. Have you ever felt like that, China, where you're just sad? Like, there's no real reason for it. Like,
yeah, my husband tells me, like, when I'm on the phone with him and I start, like, going through my emotions or I'm having anxiety or whatever it is, my husband, like, he don't want to hear it sometimes, and he'll just be like, you're fighting with yourself. I'll call you later. And he just hangs up. And I'm just like, now I'm really gonna fight with myself. Like, what are you doing? Because he's like, what do you want me to tell you? And there's times, that like I said, as women, we have our insecurity moments. We have our moments where we start tripping and, whatever it is. And sometimes, like, and I tell him, like, I think I was tripping a little bit after he hung up on me and told me, you're fighting with yourself. I'll talk to you later. Then I'll sit down and, like, really reflect and really think of, like, I think I really was tripping a little bit, just a little bit too much, and then once I'll message him and be like, all right, can you call me back? And then I'll just tell him, like, then he'll ask me, like, what's wrong? And then I'll, let him know what's wrong or whatever. But sometimes, like how you said, Naomi, like, I have to tell my husband what to tell me. And it's like, bro, like, you should be able to tell me freely. Like, you should be able to, like, know what to tell me. But I guess, I don't know. It's probably, like, what's that one thing?
No, that's being way too damn selfish. Come on. See, I'm speaking as a trained counselor when I ask these questions. I'm speaking as a counselor. So when I say that, and this is the Greyhound, like, if you come and you say, I'm feeling insecure, I'm in my emotions, that's the question I'm going to ask you. What are you feeling insecure about, my love? You understand what I'm saying?
Like, yes. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just feeling fucked up. Like, and then I'll cry. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling like that. I'm just feeling that. And I tell him, like, I don't need you to solve my problems. I just need you to be like, everything's going to be okay. I love you. That's all I need from you. And I tell him that. And he's like, and I don't get crazy like that all the time, but I do.
At what point are you gonna know that for yourself and be secure in that fact? I mean, what?
I do know that, but when
Why do we have to
having,
have that on repeat? Like, I mean, listen, you have to outgrow that yourself, your own insecurities. Like, that's your responsibility. Like, that's highly unnecessary, honestly, because like you should be able to resolve that for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's the issue, because it's like you're gonna turn a visitation into a counseling session, and then you're gonna expect an answer that he doesn't know.
but he knows because I tell him. That's what you're
But
not getting.
I feel like sometimes the reassurance is what we're looking for. Like reassurance, not like solving our problems or finding a solution, but just reassuring us whenever we're going through our
Well, see,
moment.
there's a difference between what you're explaining about your husband and what I know about her husband. See, because like what you're explaining about your husband, like that's a no-no. Like the way he reacts to you is like, nah, bro, you got to get it together. Like, but with Greyhound, in that case, it's like you're given the opportunity and you should be secure in yourself. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, Greyhound, like just listening, knowing what questions to ask when in the course of the conversation, really, really listening, bro. Just stopping and listening and hearing her out, because she will give you the answers, right, to those questions. And then those questions then become rhetorical to where she leads herself to that conclusion. And then you don't have to solve it. It resolves itself. She feels confident. She feels secure. She feels listened to, because that's what it's about. It ain't about all this other drama. It's about being heard out, being listened to, and you know what I mean? Just here, give me a hug type shit. You know what I mean? It ain't. It is really not that serious. It is really not.
That's what you struggle with. I think sometimes I get mad at him because I'm like, dude, like he's selfish sometimes. Like everything I tell him, like everything's about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to me, it's a problem. Like I tell him, I meet every need that you have. I do everything for you. So the last time we got a fight, I'm like, sit down and write down everything that you do for me. You know what I mean? Because I know you get caught up, like you need this, you need that, you're going through this there, you're going through that there, but what about me? You know what I mean? And we all do that, because sometimes I mean, like that too.
I get, see, because that's the thing is, it's like getting to the root of that insecurity in that moment, because it'll vary. It can be, and like you said, you don't know where it comes from or whatever. It can be a triggered response to something that you don't even realize, childhood, another relationship, or all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So it's just, and this is for Greyhound, it's just getting to the root of what's bothering her in that moment. But at the same time, for you guys, is you yourself getting to the root of that without getting in a conflict with them.
I think now that I'm listening to you and I think about it too, like I think why guys don't understand a lot of what women go through is that we have so much that we're holding down. Like I'm holding my husband down. We got our kids to worry about. I'm going through shit with my sister and my mom. Like all this is piling up. So on a day when everything's calm and I'm crying and I'm upset, like it's probably because I just dealt with all this shit for the last week, and today's the first day I get a break. So I don't know why I'm crying, but it's probably because I have so much fucking shit piled up on top of me. This is the first opportunity I have to actually process what's going on, and I'm upset. And I keep telling him, like, you want to find a resolution. I don't need you to find a resolution. I just need you to tell me everything's gonna be okay. Now you love me. You know what I mean? And he fights me on a lot of shit, and it's like, I don't understand it sometimes.
How many times you gonna go through before you know it's gonna be all right?
Yeah, but it, like, you know what I mean? We as women carry a lot of shit. We deal with our kids just by on that alone.
Yeah, but see, you're getting the soft version. Sometimes it's not the soft version. Sometimes somehow I'm the problem, and then I go on the defense, and then it's some other problem that don't even make no sense how it's the problem when I thought we were talking about this. So I'm confused. And then if that's a problem, oh, that problem, why not just say that as a beginning and let's get it over with. And then if you
Right. Why did it? What? Right.
you tell me what to say.
See
You
that?
tell me what to say. I say it, and then now it's not good enough for you.
Yeah, let's be real, smarty pants. Because I'll tell him, like, you've been tripping for, you know what I mean? Like, I'll say, you've been acting weird the last couple of days. And then he'll be like, you were just at visit yesterday. Why didn't you say that shit yesterday? And I'm like, dude. Like, sometimes and he throws shit, like, and I know what he's doing. I know he's trying to be defensive and throw shit at me to deflect from the issue. You know what I mean? Oh, you did this and you did that. And it's like, what does that have to do with the issue at hand? Stop bringing up bullshit. Stop shooting shots at me. But then I get pissed off. And me and him, that's the toxic part of us, because we both get stubborn and you know what I mean? He fights it, he gets defensive, I get defensive, and I'm not, and I tell him that. I think the girls he's been with in his past are submissive. So he'll tell them something and they get scared and like, oh, okay, not me. Not I, sir. I will fucking fight you tooth and nail. As much as you fight, I'm gonna fight. And I think that's like the toxic thing between us.
Yeah, when are you gonna stop fighting?
When he listens to me.
Yeah.
Woo, now we're getting somewhere, baby. I love it. Now we're getting somewhere. We're all laughing and smiling here. Yeah.
How do we go from domestic violence to our fucking issues? Talk about something else.
Greyhound, you listening, bro?
I'm an abused husband.
You're not an abused husband. I always say I'm gonna slap you, but when have I ever put my hands on you? Ever.
Yeah, that's kind of abusive, man. You need to chill with all that violence, bro.
I'm coming back.
Threatening physical violence.
Putting in all the work I put in. It's now karma coming back. I'm an abused husband.
Stop saying that. It's not funny. He says he's the bully. He's the bully of all bullies, and I bully him.
It sounds like it to me.
Whatever. My husband just has a soft spot for me.
That's the impression I'm getting at this moment, that he's been a little bit bullied.
You see that?
You got something in your eye?
Yeah, it's right there for
Let
you.
me get that for you. You want me to get that out your eye for you? Greyhound will blow it up like that, but
Whatever.
we ain't gonna be doing this shit.
You're such an asshole.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. If I had to deal with a wife that called me assholes and all kinds of shit like that, bro, I'm gone.
You're not your thing that drives me crazy when you talk about your relationship is you want somebody that's going to be perfect when you're not perfect. Like, no matter who you pick to be with, you're going to have issues. They might not be these issues, but they're going to be some type of issues. And you're like, I'm going to walk away. I want this. And life don't work like that, dude.
You know what I got for some issues? I got a whole lot of tissue for some issues.
They're so fucking stupid.
On some real shit.
Whatever.
I'm going to keep a whole lot of tissues for the issues.
There's a tissue. No, babe, they're not striking anymore. He calls and he's like, babe, do you have toilet paper? I'm like, yes, I got toilet paper. Why? What's going on?
Yeah, they having a shortage on toilet paper. I right now.
I always buy the big bulk thing, like the 30 triple rolls, but then it lasts me for months and I don't have to worry about it. And I had just bought one like a month ago and I haven't even opened it yet. So I'm good. I'm good on that.
Like maybe 30 rolls and it's just me.
Yeah, something. It's like I'm good on that. Good on paper towels too.
I mean, I tell you what, I was in the longest prison standoff in U.S. history at Maury and ran out of toilet paper pretty quick, but I had a subscription to TV Guide and
Dude, could you imagine wiping your ass with a fucking
it leaves imprints.
Toilet paper with newspaper.
Yeah.
You got to burn bath after you're done. I know.
So I know you have. I know you haven't been really getting on TikTok, China, but did you see? I think her name's Rissa on there. Your favorite comedian. She had asked a question about the new wives. Did you see that?
No, that's okay. Again, let me rephrase it before I start getting attacked. That's a friend who became my sister, and she
Yeah.
has no filter.
She's
But
funny.
I haven't seen her. I haven't been on. I've been trying to,
No, babe. She asked like, with these new prison wives, she's like, they're always crying about the tablets going down or the light being green and shit. Don't call me. I'm just trying to remember what exactly she said. She was like, "What, you know, we're privileged to have these tablets because these are a new thing." She's like, "What about back in the day?" And I'm like, "Girl, I went years where I never even got to touch my husband. I went years and from state to state. I didn't get to touch him. All visits were behind glass. And then in Arizona, it was what was it, babe? Like a 5-10 minute call once a month or every other week.
5 minutes in SMU every
Yeah,
week.
so it was in SMU.
5 minutes every week.
Yeah. So that's how I used to talk. That's how I used to talk to my husband when our daughter was new. That's where he was in SMU. So I'm like, I went through that. Like our whole relationship when shit was through visits behind the glass and through letters and a 5-minute call every other week. You know what I mean? Like these new girls, they would fall off so fucking fast. Like they have no idea. They're they're crying about tablets. I'm like, my husband just got a tablet. Well, babe, in June or July, they barely got tablets out here.
Yeah.
So
we went 18 years without me taking pictures. 18 years behind the glass.
Wow.
So the first time he ever got to touch our daughter, she was what, 15?
Yeah.
Was the first time he got to touch her. Like it was so sad. I talk about that before. Like we'd go see him in New Mexico. I would put her on because it was like a little lip. And she was like 6 months. She was baby. Like, the first year of her life, I'd put her up there and he would go like this to her. And she would cry and bang on the glass. And he's sitting there trying to hold it in, but you could see the expressions on his face. Like that shit was so sad. And then the first time we got to actually hug each other, it was a happy moment, but it was like, you know what I mean? At the same time, that's sad that he had to wait 15 years to touch his own fucking kid.
Yeah. That's it.
I wanted to do like that boy used to do with a little aerial. Remember we used to do it and chase her underneath the tables and stuff.
Yeah. Thug ass Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always remember that. I always wanted that myself. I was getting big, and I never got to have it. It was always behind the glass.
Yeah, I remember the last time, because I didn't see my son until he turned 18. He was 9 months when I got arrested. And the last time I seen him was the day after his first birthday behind glass. And like, exactly like you're saying, like he was crying. He's trying to get through the glass. And like, it was one of those things where once they left, I couldn't hold back no more. You know what I mean? And I knew that it was going to be a long time before I saw him again.
And he always talks about my oldest daughter. She would stand by the wall because they were like cubby holes, and she'd stand there and like hold on to it and look at him. And I would be screaming, "Let's go!" And she's standing there like she didn't want to leave him. You know what I mean? She would just stand there looking at him, and then she tells him now like it used to make her upset because she didn't understand why she couldn't take him home, why he couldn't come home, why they couldn't touch him, why they couldn't do anything. And it's like sad listening to their perspectives now that they're adults on what we went through during all those years where we couldn't touch him.
Yeah, that's some heartbreaking shit, man. For real, it's like that was the hardest part. You know what I mean? That was the hardest part is losing my son like that. That damn ringtone, dude, man.
So
Ah,
it's been like a year and a half we've been doing this. Let it go. Just this
can
should
we
be
get another one already? Like at least when we're on the live, can you put
first
some
of
Marvin
all,
Gaye
when I
on?
pick a different one, you're like, what happened to the original song? So I put it back. So make it make sense, please.
Put like My Girl
Make
on. Or
make up your mind. Which one do you want?
Please be so for real right now, Daniel.
I'm
I hate when my
saying,
daughter calls me that.
like, it reminds me of some old Waylon Jennings and shit, like some old fucking Willie Nelson. When I hear, because I can't hear what it is. Sounds like some country and
John
shit.
Legend, all of me.
That ain't what it sounds like to me.
Babe, Daniel's talking shit about our song.
No, I'm talking shit about the ringtone.
Babe. Hey, when did that do? Honey bun.
If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Daniel is talking shit about our song.
Why you snitching, man? Quit that shit. I didn't say nothing. I plead
You
the Fifth
said it.
Amendment.
Here's the second go.
Fifth Amendment. I didn't say nothing.
Let
Did
me
you hear
run
me,
this
Graham?
back.
I
Let me
didn't say it.
rewind it. Let me rewind it a few minutes. Tell me I'm snitching. I'll punch you in the eye.
Put on something like, you know what I mean, My Girl or My Guy or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is how it sounds.
So Wednesday, China, we were going to talk to Tiny, bring him and his wife on so they could tell us about the struggles and stuff that they're going through with getting out of prison and being in there so long and how they cope and deal with stuff.
Yeah, because like,
Gosh, shit out of my leg.
it was that, I think it was that one weekend they were going to come on and shit. They had
They were grocery shopping.
Well, no. It was before that. I think it was the day before that. Cause like, it was his daughter's birthday. Their daughter's birthday, and she wanted to take her shopping, but he ain't trying to do no girl shopping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not. He ain't trying to like go have your moment, whatever. You know what I mean? And then like the other kids were at a game, and then like one of the other daughters had an asthma attack and shit at the game. So they had to cancel everything else. And like, you know, when you're dealing with a whirlwind of shit like that, you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
This regular everyday shit. You know what I mean? Like things that happen in life, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you just never know. I mean, like you said, it's a perfect relationship. Like, yeah, I get that things happen in life, but it's a question of how we react to what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I have enough experience to
be with, you're gonna have to put up with shit. It just depends on what type of shit and how much you're willing to put up with. But anybody to be with is gonna be like that. Look at Almost.
That's the thing about me. Like right now, it's like patience. Like everything that I'm experiencing. I'm going through a lot of bullshit right now, and like everything that I'm dealing with is just making me more patient because it's like I have to breathe. You know, when it's outside of my control, it's outside of my control. I'm not gonna kick against the pricks. I'm not gonna bang my head on a fucking wall and think I'm gonna knock a concrete wall down. I used to, you know what I'm saying? But I learned to just sit back, relax, breathe, regain my composure. You know what I mean? That way I can see clearly through it instead of allowing the fog that I'm in to overwhelm me. And then, you know, it's like that dark cloud that hangs over the Charlie Brown character and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to take that without overnight. So I have a tendency to want to be alone. You know what I mean? I have a tendency to want to be alone and take long walks so that I can clear my mind. Because I don't want to bring that to no one else. You know what I mean? Like, but I get from a woman's perspective, you know, I'm gonna have to shoulder a lot. You know what I mean? My shoulder is gonna be there to take all them tears and everything else. Like I get that, I understand that. You know what I mean? But it's a question of how we react to that stimuli. You know what I mean? Like you can overreact and become dramatic and about some shit that you don't understand and you ain't got no control over instead of just relaxing and breathing.
And I'm guilty of doing that. And that's what I like about my husband because he's always like, you know what I mean? There's nothing you could do about it. Just I'm not going to let it bother me. And I'm like, it should bother you because I'm freaking out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I need to learn how to be, Because you think that with the troll thing, Daniel, when we first came on and they were trolling us all the time and I flipped the fuck out and I was like, I need to not do that. It's like everything doesn't deserve a reaction. But when I get in my feelings like that right away, like I pop off.
And then here comes China.
Hey,
Dude, I'm bad. I used to be bad. I want to give myself a little bit of credit because
I tell you what I've been doing. Like when they come in my comments and say, you know what I do? Shut up, tard. 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 I don't even need to say shut up, tard.
You know, I had a incident that happened. I think it was like when did we go on? We went on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, it was a whole shit show. And the ones that come on here and troll and talk shit, were telling everybody, message her, tell her to come on live, tell her to come defend herself, tell her to come defend herself. If it's not true, tell her to come defend herself. And I was somebody was sharing their screen, right? And I'm just looking at the screen and I'm laughing with my sisters that are not my blood, but they're my sisters. We were just laughing because they didn't have nothing else to talk about. They didn't have nothing, like no interaction with nobody. And it was just like, we want China on here. She needs to defend herself. Like, I don't need to defend myself from nobody. I know my life. My husband knows my life. My kids and my husband are the only things that matter to me. So anybody else can run with whatever. And like I told one of the girls, she messaged me and she was like, come on the thing and defend yourself. And I said, you guys could run with that story that you guys have and you guys will still not lose weight. So I don't give a fuck about your guys' story. I don't care about what you guys got saying. None of that, you know? So I feel so proud of myself because I was like, I'm not even going to entertain y'all. Like, this is what you guys want. You guys want entertainment. At this point, you guys going to have to run up my Cash App if you want my attention. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not,
So I think
They gotta pay for your entertainment, man. For real. That's it. Seriously. If you're gonna pay me, I'll come on. If not, I'm not coming on.
Exactly.
I think I told you that before, China. Like, somebody got on here a while back and was trying to talk shit about my husband, and I'm like, why don't you address it? Why don't you address it? I was getting mad, and he won't. If it's not true, he won't address it. He won't answer it. He won't talk to nobody. He won't say shit about it because he's like, why? What is your reasoning for that, babe? How do you say that? Honey.
Put down the video game.
This man, dude. He drives
Is he
me.
still
Babe. What the hell are you doing?
Babe.
I asked you something. Who's in the room with you?
I can't hear you, but Chick-fil-A.
Tell Chick-fil-A take his ass outside.
Yeah, man, stand outside the door. Keep watch.
I told him I was going to have one of his homeboys draw me a sign to put on his door and be like, on the phone with my wife, please do not disturb.
Yeah.
I was telling China how you always say, like, when that guy came on saying stupid shit about busting out your teeth or whatever, and it was a lie, and you're like, I won't address it. I won't talk about it. I won't answer it because it's not true.
Well, because there's certain things I'm not going to entertain. It's just, if somebody's lying about something, I don't have no problem if you got babies or whatever. When you start lying and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not going to entertain a lie. Because that starts giving life to a lie. And it's just done, you know what I mean? And then, look what happens. Then we put them on blast, and they can't even pick up their lies because they weren't telling the truth. The truth is the truth is the truth. See, a lie has to be built and constantly supported. The truth is always going to stand on its own, no matter what. And then look, the truth shines all the time. No matter how you try to cover it or whatever, the truth is always going to be the truth, and it always shows itself. So I don't ever get caught up in nobody else's bullshit when they be lying or nothing like that. I don't play into none of that because I just know. They know. We know. You know.
Yeah. No, and that's why I said I was like, the first time, like, actually, the first time, it was the second time too. I was like, I was telling Naomi, like, I feel bad. I feel bad because at the end of the day, like I said, I've been accused of fake profiles, of writing somebody else's husband, of doing this, of doing that. But at the end of the day, the truth always comes out. They accused me of this last year, and the truth came out. The same person in their own circle did it. So I was like, I don't care. You guys could run with it. You still won't lose weight. You still won't lose that chin. Go ahead, run with it. Run with it. I'm not paying attention to it no more. Like, and that's why I said, and to me, it's, I want to say it went on to like a week, and then the first week, well, like the first 4 days of October, like we're in a new month, and I'm still the topic of your conversation. Like, this obsession should be in your relationship, not me. Like, not me, but I feel really proud of myself that I was kind of like, I'm not, and I did it. And so, some, like how you said, some, it's like some do, like, at the end of the day, none of them deserve a reaction out of it, but it was just like, I'm the type of person that is like, I like to talk shit back, I like to talk shit back and make them look stupid, but this one got way too far. That I'm just like, what, I'm gonna sit down and let karma do its job now. I'm just gonna sit back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, man. Karma catches up with us all. And when people are lying, people are deceitful, and you know the games that they're playing, it's gonna come back on them. You know what I mean? And it's better to let karma do what it does.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
I think that's the hard part for me sometimes, because I always want to jump and defend myself and say, you know what I mean, like, you're a liar or whatever, and he, like, I have to wait for my husband, because I popped off on some family members, and he got mad, and he's like, I waited like an hour, an hour or two after I popped off, and then I talked to him, and I wasn't as pissed off as I was when I popped off. You know what I mean? So he's always like, just wait to talk to me when shit happens, and then we'll talk about it. By the time I talk to him, I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I don't even need to respond. But I think I don't know if that's a girl thing. Do you think that's a girl thing, China? Where we always want to, or just a fucking, because I noticed with girls, it's like the girls go back and forth. Guys will talk shit and then just drop it, and girls will keep
going. I feel like, it's a girl thing. It's like trying to prove a point across, or trying to, I want to say it's maybe like our pride. Like, you're not gonna make me look like no punk, or you're not gonna embarrass me. It's, to me, at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's not what they say, it's how they say it.
Mm-hmm.
And the disrespect that comes behind it. Like, go ahead, call me all the names in the book, do whatever you want to do, but the way you talk to me is the way I'm not gonna allow. So I feel like a lot of it has to do with the disrespect that comes behind it. It's the principle behind it, basically. That I don't know. That's just my point of view.
You're a grown kid.
Who's a grown kid? You?
Chickling.
Why? What is he doing?
I'm telling him to eat a burrito, and he's telling him to just split it with me, and I'm telling him to eat it. He's a growing kid.
Oh, you're ridiculous. All right, babe.
I've been talking to my husband, and I'm talking to him. We're having a deep conversation, and they'll be like, "Oh, hold on, babe. Nah, whatever." And then he's talking to somebody else, comes back to the phone, and then we're talking again, deep conversation, and then, "Oh, hold on, babe. Someone's at the door." Do they ever shut your door down? Like,
so actually the wives making posts about that, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because my husband, I'll be having deep ass conversation with him, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, hello, and he gets quiet, and I'm like, hello, and he gets mad when I say hello like that. So he's like, hello, and I was like, did you hear anything I said? And he's like, no, what did you say? And I'm like, who's in the fucking room with you? Then I'll hear fucking Nash and Max and everybody, Paul, Chickaline, all of them in there. And I'm like, don't they have their own fucking homes? Like, fuck, man.
in a medium security facility. We have keys. We don't have bathrooms in our cells over here. It's a weird setup. It's not a dorm. It's our cells. So we got to go to the bathroom over there. Anyways, our doors are open, and everybody knows when our door is closed. Because we have our keys to the door, so they grab our key and they unlock our door and come in. So that's just for just on the hobbies, so they know that when they come over, they don't have to knock, nothing, just go unlock the door and they come in. And me and my family are here if we're playing video games or watching a movie or something, but they just walk in and then we just all be chopping it up at the same time. It'd be like sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 of us at one time.
It's annoying though, China. Like it fucking drives me up a wall because like it's like they're the popular ones or something because they're always got people there. And then like Nash will be like, oh, she's always mad at me. Let me leave. So when he knows that when I'm on the phone with my husband, he'll take off. But the other ones are like not learning that. And I'll tell him I said, shut the fuck up. Tell me on the phone with your wife. He needs to go away.
He needs the thing on the door to not disturb.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was gonna have one of his homeboys write that sign for the door that says "Do not disturb." I'm on the phone with my wife.
Yeah,
and
the
then
sign up on the door said, "Don't disturb this
he
group."
was like, your wife's crazy. She's mean and this and that. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Like you're with them all day long. Like,
I mean, they ain't lying about that though.
What?
What you just said about yourself? Repeat it one more time for us.
That they're on the phone. I mean, that they're in the cell with him all day long.
No, before that, you said you were crazy. That you're crazy and this and that. That right?
I didn't say I was crazy.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't, babe. Did I say that, China?
You
No,
said
you said
they said your wife is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Whatever.
agree. I second that.
Whatever. You still love me. Everybody still loves me, so I don't care.
That's it.
Crazy or not. That's what makes me interesting.
Nachos,
Fucker.
pizza pocket.
That's very interesting.
Fuck you, Daniel. How about that?
He's over there talking about nachos and what else did he say? Pizza?
Are you talking about food, my fatty?
Pizza pockets, he said.
Man.
They made him pizza puffs the other day or some shit.
Pizza puffs?
Yeah.
So now he's eating right now?
Babe,
China's over here eating too.
I'm hungry. I got my
I
spaghetti.
have all the I have a little thing of Mexican candy, so I'm just like, I need to stop.
That's why I need to have me some candy for this, man. I mean, because this is like.
I didn't know if he was eating, but if you do eat, you better not too loud because that's my number one overall pet peeve. I fucking hate that.
What if I sit here with some sunflower seeds, cracking sunflower seeds?
I'll fucking eat you.
My biggest thing when they chew gum and they're like,
yes, dude.
oh my God. If you don't knock it off.
This bitch on my job got all sad the other day because she was doing that and I'm standing there working and she came by me and I looked at her and I was like, and walked away and she was like, do you not like me? I don't like your chewing, dude. She's like, I've kicked my mom out of the fucking car for that. I don't know. I hate that.
I tell my kids, I'm like, who raised y'all? Because they'll be like,
you.
They know better. Shit.
I did. I feel like when my mom does it, I'm like, I know my grandma didn't raise you in no fucking barn to be chewing like that, dude. But that's my number one pet peeve. I fucking hate that shit.
Hey, man.
I don't got to worry about it with my husband because I buy him food at Visit and he inhales it. I look down to sit. I put his food in front of him and I go to sit down and it's gone. By the time I sit down, I'm like, what the fuck?
I know when we went to visit, I think we did like a year and a half. I want to say a year and a half behind the glass. with my husband. And then when we had the in-person visits, you know what, we took the kids and stuff, and so we got burgers and everything that they had, right? So my husband's, he was over there grabbing a burger, right? And he bit it, right? And my daughter looks at him and goes, I know you're not biting that like a princess. So, you know, ever since then they call him a princess, because like it was like his first time like eating in front of us and the kids and stuff like that, you know. So because I didn't meet him while he was,
he was all embarrassed.
yeah, so he's all, you know, like eating it. And then my daughter, she looked at him and she goes, I know you're not eating that like a princess. And so ever since then they've been clowning him, you know. And then I think it was like the other day my son bit the pizza, the burger, and he ate a little bit of it, and they're like, oh, look at another little princess. So they have that little joke now to where it's like, you know, but now he eat, like now we have the family visits, he'll cook and, you know, we'll eat and everything. But in the beginning he was very shy.
That's funny, because that's definitely not my husband. He fucking, I'm like, you chew your food? Like, get it together.
He just devours it.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I'll look away or whatever, and I'll get us the same thing so we can eat. Like, we'll eat, you know, breakfast burrito in the morning or something together, and I don't even get a bite in, and this shit is gone. And I look at him like,
what you eat, man. That's one thing he ain't never had no shame of eating.
No, dude, he inhaled his fucking food, and I'm like, what? Where did your food go? He's like, I ate it. And I'm like, okay. Oh, babe, my little buffalo.
Buffalo, damn.
You inhale that. I don't even see it. I cook it, put it on the plate in front of you, and then I look away and look back, and it's gone.
I chop everything up first. You watch.
He does do that too. I have to always get him a fork with all his food so he can cut it up and eat it. But dude, I don't know how, because it's always gone so fast.
He ain't eating pizza with a fork, is he?
Yeah. He'll get the fork and cut it. Eat everything, dude.
That's
Everything.
some princess shit to do. Would you need some gloves too?
You need some gloves, babe?
You know, gloves.
He said that's some princess shit to do. To cut your food up.
Oh, fuck.
You got kids doing that shit too.
I don't know. I chop that up. I don't know why.
You chop it up and then you inhale it, because I see it chopped up and then I don't see it anymore.
Hey, people in the relationship, you know how like when you take a girl out to eat and they be trying to act too pretty and they chop up their little hamburger with a fork and a knife.
Yeah. Your cousin Ricardo's on, babe. He said, what's up, cousin and bad boy? I really miss you, cousin. I'm happy for you guys. Keep it up. Sorry. So please pray. If you know, you know.
What's up, Ricardo?
What up, brother, man?
I said, what's up? I said,
So
Yeah, stop cutting up your food, bro. You know what I mean? That's not cool.
you got
It's
some
not
kids.
really answer.
why I do that? It's just
All right, let's break ourselves of that habit.
He's been doing that forever. He's never gonna stop doing that.
I chop up bananas too. So you can't be eating them all in the kitchen.
I would hope not, sir.
Swallow the whole thing. Yeah, bro, you don't want to be doing that. That's all right. That's acceptable.
No. Dude, he's like on like Tuesdays they do hot dogs. So he's like, it's 2 weenies and a bun. I'm like, what's for lunch? And he's like, weenies. And I'm like, please stop saying it like that, dude.
Wieners, man, wiener schnitzel. They're wieners.
He says it's 2 weenies and a bun, or 2 weenies and 2 buns. And I'm like,
Hey,
what?
the guys are asking, is tomorrow a holiday?
No.
What?
Tomorrow's not a holiday.
Hold on.
No.
It's something that replaces Columbus Day.
No.
That's what I was
There's,
thinking.
I don't see nothing on the calendar, but next Monday is Indigenous Day, Indigenous Peoples Day.
Next Monday is Indigenous Day, Indigenous People Day.
Let me check my phone because that'll
What's
show.
Monday?
Yeah, there's nothing this Monday, babe. I'm
No,
looking
next Monday is Columbus Day.
What does it say? Chicken wing?
Yeah, next Monday is Columbus Day, but they're calling it Indigenous Peoples Day. That's next Monday, the 14th.
Man, people in the goddamn bullshit.
Ridiculousness.
Can I get a day? That's my baby mama's birthday too, October 14th.
I know it's got.
My son will be 27 on the 15th.
Oh, yeah,
27.
Mhm.
My brother
He's
Rudolph will be 50 something on the 16th. I got twin cousins that the birthday's the 14th. Like, there's a few people my family whose birthdays the same day on October 14th.
No, my son is the 15th. He'll be 27. He's making me old as fuck. He's my oldest.
Yeah, when you hit 40s, it's kind of, midlife crisis ish.
Is it?
Yes, it is. You didn't know that?
No.
It could be the cause of your, your little up and down roller coaster
I've
insecurity.
always been like that, though.
It could be, you know what I mean? It really is.
Being fair.
What, babe?
Oh, on the 40.
What, babe?
JD, the 17th, he's gonna be 40. I thought you were younger than that, bro.
I thought he was older than that.
Nah,
I just turned 35.
you just turned 30. Oh, you're a baby.
Why were you on TikTok saying you were 45?
Oh, because the girls, the trolls kept saying that I was pushing 40, still acting this way and still talking shit. But I was like, 40 or not, I'll still beat your ass.
Yeah, because I heard you say you were 45, and I was like, she's 45? Like, what the fuck? Babe,
Yeah, no, and then it was funny because they would run with it too. They would be like, she's 45, she's 45. And I was like, I'm not 45.
babe.
Yeah.
Ricardo said, I remember the last time we talked when you were in Madison. He really was the real one. And Joey Duckets is going to be 40 on the 17th.
Greyhound's what, 46? 7?
7.
47.
They tell me how much did they say I was the other day?
He was blowing smoke up your ass, and you know it.
The other one was over there too.
So somebody told him he looked 37.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. There we go. Somebody's blowing smoke.
That's what I told him. I was like, tell Gary, does he need glasses? And if he doesn't need glasses, he's just blowing smoke up your ass. That's all it is.
It sounds like some smudging going on over there.
Yeah.
How old is Gary?
Gary's like 28.
I was a 26-year-old saying that I only look 10 years older than him.
What else? You act 10 years older than him.
Because I'm a young fella.
You're not a young fella, my love.
He'll be 50 in 4 months. 50
We have two granddaughters. Like he's not a young fella. He's a grandpapa.
Grandpapa, you old motherfucker.
And one of the girls said, "You're like my second mom," and I was like, "Oh my god, how did I skip the Tia phase and went straight to the mom? Like, what the fuck?"
I don't have no grandkids. My son don't want none no time soon. He don't even want kids. Which is cool because I don't want to have a kid that's older, that's older than you know what I mean, the grandbaby.
So his son has 2 daughters, 2 girls, but my son don't want no kids. Our daughter don't want no kids. So my oldest daughter is the only hope for it. We don't get to see our granddaughters.
Aww.
Why?
Just because.
So I asked my daughter right now. I asked her if she would like to join, and coming from her as a child, seeing domestic violence growing up and stuff, like what she experienced, what she's seen, and stuff like that. So, I don't know if Thursday or maybe next Sunday or whenever. So I
Yeah,
could let her know.
that would be a good one on Thursday when we do the ladies' night, and she's a little lady.
Yeah, so we can, have her, just coming from a child's
Perspective.
perspective, and hopefully it could bring awareness to other mothers, hearing another child, speak on what she's seen, what she, how she feels, and to this day, how she feels and how it affected her. And sometimes, we feel like we're doing we're doing best by sticking around and staying because, like how we said earlier, like, oh, because we want him to be, their dad to be a part of their life. But in reality, it wasn't even for good reasons,
Yeah.
But I think it would be a good thing, if we get her on next Thursday, and have her join.
I think that would be good too, because then you get to see the trauma that you're putting them through.
Yeah.
From their perspective now, instead of, like, this is what I went through when I was younger and I seen all of it. Like, you actually get to see in real time what a baby's going through and how they're feeling.
Yeah. That'd probably be like an emotional moment for me.
Yeah, I got a little choked up when I started saying that, because I'm like, I don't want nobody saying nothing too hard for her, because then I will want to fight for real.
But one thing about, like I said, one thing about my daughter is, like, I raised her to not let anything that anybody tries to say about her affect her, or if they try to bully her or anything like that. Like, my daughter knows who she is, how beautiful she is, and her soul is amazing, so.
Yeah, but on top of that, adult women should not be fucking with kids. That's the thing that drives me insane. You know what I mean? Like, then they try to justify it saying some weird shit, and it's just like, there's no justification for that. There was no justification for that shit at all.
Yeah,
So,
like
their own childhood.
Huh?
Well, do you mind if I say what happened?
No, go ahead.
So one of the girls that she's beefing with put a picture of her daughter out of the background and started saying shit like, oh, look at her nose, look at her face, look at her eyebrows, and like picking the baby apart and talking shit. And it's like, you're a grown ass bitch talking about somebody's kid. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me want to cry, and it's making me mad just talking about it, because that should have never fucking happened. Like, what part of the game is that? You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that with fucking kids because you have problems with their parents. Like, what's wrong with you?
But remember the ones that had hopped on the box last time?
Yeah.
The one that was talking about we should be fighting of why our men don't go to store and all this other bullshit.
Yeah. So anyways, that'll be good to have her on there too. I think that'll be a girl thing, because the guys will be, I don't know.
I'm off on that day.
I'm off on that. My husband's off on that day too. He goes to drum circle. Babe, are you about ready to end it? Because I'm tired and I'm hungry.
I know.
China keeps eating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end it. We'll be back. Me and China will be on Thursday. We'll be on Wednesday with Tiny and his wife. And then Thursday we'll be on for ladies' night, and then Sunday again for our regular Sunday night magic. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Married Lifers. Go ahead, babe.
Peace.
See ya.
Hello.